Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this update and all that the Lord is doing here. Your guys' prayers and support have meant so much to me in this process and what God's doing here in Charlotte. So I normally for my updates send out an email, but today I wanted to share a little bit about what God is up to in the neighborhood and thought it might be fun to take you on a little tour of where I serve and where I do life at and what God's up to and share some stories. So here is in here, this is our living room area, and this is where so much happens in this area with kids coming in and hanging out, playing games, sleepovers before games, meals, all kinds of awesome stuff, and so it's super fun. But then outside is where the real action happens and where we're playing all the time. So I want to go ahead and show you outside. Check it out. So that's a brief picture of the portion of the neighborhood that I live in here in Four Seasons. And I want to be able to share some cool stories about what God has been up to here. And so in this field right behind me, behind the picnic tables that I'm sitting on right now, I remember the first week I was here driving into the neighborhood, going on a run with Travis Jones, for those who know Travis. And after the run, we were pulling in, and Travis goes, "Hey, you see those kids over there?" And I'd seen them before. They were playing soccer all the time. And he's like, "Well, those kids aren't really involved with the Eagles, so if you get a chance to hang out with them, you should get to know them." So started walking back after his house back to my apartment, and on the walk, those kids are like, "Hey, you want to play soccer with us?" And so got to introduce myself and start hanging out with these group of kids. And now every single evening that I'm in the neighborhood, I'm hanging out with these group of kids. And it's pretty interesting. I thought I was moving into an entirely Asian neighborhood, and the one portion of the neighborhood that I'm living in, there's about 1,000 people here, but the small portion that I'm in is mostly Spanish. So a lot of the kids that I'm playing with are Spanish, and then also a lot of kids who have been around with the Eagles. And so it's been really, really special getting to know these kids and just how cool of an opportunity that the Lord's put with this group of kids in particular. So that was on a Wednesday, and on Friday we had our last block party of the summer. And I remember going up to the kids' doors and seeing if they could come, and their parents were trying to figure out if it was all right for their kids to go with me. And so none of the families here speak very much English at all. None of the parents, the kids all do. And so two of the moms are talking on the phone to each other in Spanish, trying to figure out if it's okay for their kids to come with me to the block party, which is on the other part of the neighborhood, which would take about 5 minutes or so to walk to from my house, where there's a soccer field down there. And the parents are talking, and they finally agree to go. And as we're walking, one of the little kids goes, "My mom said that you look responsible. That's why I can go to the block party." And I just remember chuckling to myself. And a little bit later, one of the kids goes, "Man, this is so cool. I've never gone anywhere by myself before." And then as we get close to the field, they're amazed because they didn't realize we had a soccer field in our neighborhood. They've been playing in this dirt grass area right up here. And that's begun this incredible relationship with these kids and all that God's been doing and building just these solid relationships. And just last week we started our neighborhood academy and have practices. And so there's about 20 kids who practice on Mondays and Wednesdays and then play a game on Fridays. And I've been really excited about that because that's an opportunity to be able to have some more intentionality with these kids. And we get to share about Christ at every practice and help them to be able to come to know Jesus. And so please be praying for our neighborhood academy. It's Monday and Wednesday nights and games on Fridays. And then it's been really special because I've been able to go into the schools and have lunch with these kids in the neighborhood. And today, went to the schools, and then yesterday as well. And over the last 2 days, hung out with over 30 kids in the schools, having lunches with them, and kids coming to my table. And it's been really special to get to know them and their teachers and be able to care for them in that way. So be praying for me as I'm in the schools hanging out with these kids and building relationships. And it's been amazing the conversations that have happened there, and kids in the middle of a lunch at the school opening up about how their parents got a divorce and how they just found out about it. And just been amazing what God's been up to in those conversations. And then it's been really special because one of my prayers has been to get to know the parents, and the parents don't speak English for the most part. But even in the midst of it, I've been able to share Christ's love through my actions in cool ways. And the Lord's opened up doors to be able to help carry in groceries to houses, or one of the families just moved in and got to help them carry their couch in. And another one of the families, the mom makes tamales, and so I got to buy some tamales, and they were very good. And so it was awesome. It's super cool to be able to watch how the Lord's been opening up so many doors in this neighborhood, to be able to share His love and what He wants to do in these families' lives, and how He wants to transform their life. So keep praying for me. Keep praying that God will do just immeasurably more than we could ever ask or imagine. And I remember a few weeks ago, this has been my prayer. I remember walking through the Psalms, and the Lord just really impressed me on one of the chapters of the Psalms to pray through it verse by verse. And as I started praying, I realized that one of the verses, the two verses, were identical. And it talks about how to open up the gates for the King of Glory to come in. And the Lord just really challenged me. Go, Austin, that's what you're doing in this neighborhood. You're opening up the gates for me to be able to come in and impact people's lives. And so be praying for me as different barriers begin to be broken down and hearts are softened to be receptive to the gospel and how Christ wants to change lives. So be praying specifically for that. Be praying for the Neighborhood Academy. Be praying for time in the schools. Be praying that I'll get to continue to know parents and families and be able to love them. But I'm so appreciative for your guys' partnership with me and what God's doing here. And so this is a small portion of what He's doing in the Charlotte community and what I get to do in my evenings hanging out here in the neighborhood when I don't have practice. So keep praying for me, and I'm just so encouraged by your partnership and your support in my life. And so thank you so much, and I hope that this was an encouragement to you. God bless.